Hello guys, so we are going to continue our discussion with respect to Python, and in this video we are going to talk about generators. Already we have discussed about iterator. One very important thing about generator is that it is a subclass of iterator itself, okay? And it is like generator are a simple way to create iterators. They use the yield keyword to produce a series of values lazily, which means they can generate value on the fly and do not store them in the memory. And that is how efficient memory management and looping basically happens. Okay. Now, in order to show you one good example that how with the help of generator we are able to create iterator, we'll be discussing over here. And I will just take a very simple example. Let me just go ahead and create a function. Let's say square. Okay, so square is the function over here. I'll give my n keyword. Okay, or let's say this n value will be there. And what I will do, let's say if I'm giving n is equal to 3, right? So I will go ahead and write for I in range of 3, okay? I in range of 3. And now what I will be doing is that I will just go ahead and say, hey, let's return I to the times 2. So we are basically squaring that particular number. But what is basically happening over here? Right now, we are iterating through a collection and we are returning only one square, right? So if I go ahead and execute this, okay, now just see this, okay, if I just go ahead and execute this and if I just call square of 3, so what output I'm actually going to get? 0. Why? Because it iterates through all the elements over here, but the first element is 0, but it is returning 0 multiplied like 0 to the times of 2, right? And obviously I'm just going to get the answer as 0. But what I want is that I want to iterate through all the elements as we iterate in the iterator itself. So in generator, when we are creating this kind of iterators, we use an yield keyword. Okay. Now with the help of this yield keyword, what will happen? This yield keyword will create a local variable and it will save the values also. Now if I go ahead and execute square of 3, right? Now see this, okay? If I just go ahead and execute this just by using this yield keyword and I'm just going and executing the square of 3, it shows it is a generator object square at this specific memory location. Now this has actually got converted into a generator object, and generators are nothing but it is a simple way to create iterators, and here we are also using functions. Okay. Now in order to iterate through this particular elements, what I can actually do, I can go ahead and write for I in square of 3. Let's say if I go ahead and write for I in square of 3, and here if I go ahead and print I, now see the magic. Okay. Now what will happen if I run this iteration? Okay. So for, let's say that here I will go ahead and write for I in square of 3. Now square of 3, it will go over here. Then over here for I in range of 3, it will become. Then it will yield. Yield basically means 0 to the power of 2. Now this yield, it will save this first operation and it will return the value over here and it will print it. Okay. Then again, it will go inside this square. It will go to the next value, that is 1. Again, it will go ahead and do this particular operation. And whenever we say yield, it is going to save that particular value and it is also going to return it. Okay. And as soon as it is getting returned over here, we are also going to print it. Okay. So now if I go ahead and execute this, see the magic. Over here, I'm getting 0, 1 and 4, right? So I hope you're able to understand the very importance of this yield keyword. This yield keyword is specifically, it produces a series of values lazily, which means they can generate values on the fly and do not store them in the memory. They are just storing it over here and they are just displaying it and they are just passing it from the main function where it is called or from the main code where it is called, right? So this clearly shows that how you are able to access it. Okay. Let's say that I will just go ahead and write like this. So this is one way of probably calling this all the iterator elements. The other way is that if I go ahead and create this square of 3, and let's say I go ahead and store this particular variable in A. If I go ahead and execute, this becomes a generator object over here, right? Now, in order to iterate through this, I can again write next of A, right? If I go ahead and write next of A, the first element is 0. See, then again, if I go ahead and hit next of A, the second element is 1. And then again, if I hit, it is nothing but 4. And that is what I got over here, 0, 1, 4. And finally, if I again hit, there are no elements. So I'm going to get this stop iteration error. So in short, what has happened is that we have used generator and we have also converted or we have created iterators with the help of this particular function. And here I've also shown you an importance of this particular yield keyword. Yield keywords, whatever operation I'm actually doing it over here, it is also returning the value where I'm actually calling it from. Okay, this is the main importance of the yield keyword. Okay, let me just go ahead and show you one more example. Let's say that I'm going to go ahead and create my another function. Let's say I'll go ahead and write my generator. Okay, and here we are going to write yield of 1. Okay, so let's say that for the first time I'm returning yield of 1. Then I will go ahead and write yield of 2. Then I will have yield of 3. Now this is the most amazing thing about generators, is that we can return multiple values also, like return multiple yield values also. Okay, now let me just go ahead and execute it. Okay, and if I go ahead and create or if I just call this particular my generator over here. Okay, so if I go ahead and just print this, what is this generator? It is nothing but it is a generator object at this specific memory location. Now in order to iterate through this, what I can do, I can go ahead and write next of gen. So next of gen, first of all, what is the first yield? Here you can see yield 1, right? Then the next yield is 2. Then the next yield is 3. Then again, if I go ahead and execute, again it is stop iteration. Now let me just go ahead and execute again this one. And now what I will do, I will just go ahead and show you with the help of for loop also. I'll go ahead and write for val in gen. Okay, gen. And now if I go ahead and print the value, now because of this yield, first time it is going to display 1, then 2, then 3. See, 1, 2, 3, right? So here you can see that this yield 1, this 1 will be getting saved over here. It will just return it from where I'm actually calling using the next gen. And during the fly, all the values are getting generated. But my entire object is basically created in this particular memory location. And one by one, we can iterate through all the elements through this particular yield keyword, right? So I hope you are able to understand this amazing thing. Okay. Now let me just show you one practical example of using generator. Okay. So generator, one very good example that I would like to give, one practical example, that is reading large files. Okay. So let me just go ahead and provide some definition over here. Okay. Let me just go ahead and make some markdown so that you will also be able to understand it. Okay. So let me just quickly write it down over here. So here you can see some of the practical example and we'll try to implement this. Generator are particularly useful for reading large file because they allow you to process one line at a time without loading the entire file into the memory. If you have a large file, you can specifically use generator and load chunks from that particular file itself, display it without loading into the entire memory, right? And this is the most amazing thing. So let me do and go ahead and create one function. So here I will write definition read underscore large underscore file. Okay. And here I'm actually going to give my file path. So let's say that this is my file path. Now I will go ahead and use with open. And let's say I'm going to use file underscore path in the read mode. Okay. Whatever file path is there in the read mode. After opening this, I'll create a file object. Okay. And then let me just go ahead and say for every line in file, we are just going to yield. I'm writing yield line. So what it is going to do, it will just take a line, it will display it over here, or it will just return it from where I'm actually calling. Okay. So let me just go ahead and create one of the file over here. So let's say this is my large underscore file dot text. Okay. And what I will do is that I will just go ahead and probably take a big article and paste it over here. I will just search for President of India. So I'm doing a Google search in my separate browser. Okay. And I will just paste it over here. Some text I will try to paste it so that it becomes a large file. Okay. So just give me a second. Okay. So I'm just going to paste some information over here. Okay. So this is the information about the President of India, that is Srimati Draupadi Murmu. So I'm just going to save this. Okay. And now I'm going to read this particular file. So let me just go ahead and execute this. So this basically becomes my iterator over here. This entire function is now my iterator. Okay. Now let me just call this. So I'm going to go ahead and write file underscore path is equal to large underscore file dot txt, which I've actually created it over there. And then I'll go say for line in read large file. And here I'm going to give my file path. Okay. I'm going to give my file path. And here I'll just go ahead and say print line dot strip. Now you know that Over here, I've used the yield, right? So as soon as it will read one line, it is going to probably display it over here. Now here you can see how quickly we are able to execute it and understand this entire thing has been done with the help of a generator. And the best thing is that I have not even saved the entire file into the memory. And this is what is basically getting displayed, right? So I hope you are able to understand all these amazing things, right? And this is something, a really advanced concept in generators that we specifically use. Now, just to talk about the differences between iterator and generator. First of all, iterator, you have to use iter keyword. Generator, you have to use along with a function, you have to use yield keyword, right? Generator, in short, uses the yield keyword. It saves the local variable. So it saves variable one by one and it just return to wherever we are specifically calling. Generator in Python helps us to write fast and compact code. Python iterator is much more efficient when compared to the generators. Okay. So I hope you were able to understand about generators, guys. This was the basic difference between iterators and generators. And yes, this was it from my side. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Take care.